Welcome to Gobbler MMO. Oh, sorry, RetroMMO. RetroMMO is an online role-playing game in the early stages of development. It pairs the core game mechanics of classics such as Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy with the format of a modern MMO. This game was created by basically one person, and that one man is Evan Norton. So the fact that it's not overloaded with features and getting updates like crazy, I can let it slide, but we'll get more into that later. When starting the game, you'll get to create a character and choose between one of three classes: Wizard, Cleric, and Warrior. And from my experience in seeing people play those classes, as well as picking Wizard myself, I can tell you that Warrior seems to be sort of in the middle of the Wizard and Cleric, as the Wizard is squishy but does a lot of damage, and the Cleric doesn't do a lot of damage but can help heal and maintain the team. Well, the Warrior can both deal damage and help maintain the team. One warning I feel like I should give you is if you pick Wizard, be careful, you are squishy and will die. And you better hope that you have a Cleric on your team that knows what the hell they're doing. Or stock up on health potions. The game drops you right in the middle of this small little town. It looks very stereotypical, it's got an inn, it's got a shop, it's got, all the kind of amenities that you would need. But zero instructions. All there is a guy who has a little exclamation mark over his head that tells you that the monsters to the east of the bridge are dangerous. With that insane amount of direction, I decided to leave town. And immediately, I'm faced with a threat. Before I know it, I'm facing Aragorn and a salamander with Down syndrome. And this brings me with probably my biggest annoyance / pet peeve with this game is the enemy design. The creator here, maybe he just isn't that much an artist, but this is where the ball was really dropped for me. With the exception of a certain little demon that I'll touch on later, the enemy designs in this game seem really odd, because it has a very limited amount of enemies that you can even fight. So you'd think that they would at least choose interesting designs for the ones that they do have, but no. You have a green ooze, a stump, a chubby moth, a rat, and a fucking wasp? Like, really? I could find that shit in my backyard. Okay, maybe not the stump or the ooze, but you get the point. Brushing that aside, I'm going to talk about something I did really like about this game, and to me, probably the lore of it all, which is the party mechanic. The party mechanic is basically ripped straight from an old school Final Fantasy game, and I feel like you'll either love it or you'll hate it. And I really liked it. Basically, a player can invite you to their party, and if you accept, you become a party member, and you are stuck automatically following their character as they move. I actually had a little bit of fun with this. I had invited somebody to join my party, and decided to take them on a little dance. But anyways, the party mechanic is really fun, because it allows you to grind with somebody else. And I don't know, it just made the grinding seem a lot less mind-numbing. Especially, me starting out as a low level and wanting to hurry up and get to access to do the other things for this review. It was really nice being able to have help in the grinding. Shout out to Clade. He made my early level grinding so much easier. Now, if a party member dies, they come back to life after the battle with 1 health. They still get the experience, the gold, and all the loot that they had gathered during that fight. Now, I talked to a lot of people that played this game. A lot of people that played this game a lot longer than I have. And one thing that they made known to be very important was cooperation. A team with 1 wizard, 1 warrior, and 1 cleric is the fucking best. And because of that, clerics are in high demand. So, if you want to be, the sought-after Mr. Popular, if you were to play this game, pick a cleric, because people are looking for him. Because they're kind of boring to play. Well, I mean, of course, that's a matter of opinion, but you get the point. But cooperation is exceedingly important, because you need your wizards to be doing high damage, you need your warriors to be doing high damage, you need your cleric to have all the mana they need to keep everybody healed, and you need your wizard to have all the mana. Well, fairly early on, I noticed something kind of strange. It was that everybody was talking about something called a gobbler, and it really confused me to the point where I eventually just asked chat, and that's whenever I learned the magnificence that is the gobbler. And I even caught this funny conversation that people were having surrounding the gobbler. Me. Is that tower in the top left reachable? Not yet. No. If ever. That is where John stashes the loot. Yep, I will be pro wizard. Big gobble! We be ool. Holy mother gobble! Ah! It's a dad. That's a big boy. Big gobble. How do you know Gobble is a dad? Theories? I gotta go. I don't blame you, Jay. I don't blame you. Eventually, I did learn what the Gobbler was. The Gobbler, in essence, is the world boss. He is very hard, and as far as I know, he's the hardest thing in this game to fight. If you go all the way to the east of the map, which is a pretty small map, there's a little cave. And in that cave, there are some tougher monsters, as well as, at the end, the Gobbler. Now, the Gobbler is tough. He's very tough. My first attempt did not go so well. My first attempt, I convinced people to take me in at a very low level, and immediately regretted it as I was being killed in 2 hits by anything. And I couldn't rely on my cleric to keep me alive, because he also had to keep a whole nother teammate alive, and was also dishing out damage of his own. Needless to say, it was a fail. But I will say this, the enemy designs in the cave are definitely better than they are outside, although still not super original. And so it was back to grinding. I got myself another partner, thank you Braxton, and I grinded up all the way to level 8 when I was ready to try again. I figured on a team with 2 other level 10 people, the max level, that I could probably take him on. I mean, surely, right? He wasn't too bad. Well, me, Braxton, and someone else were on our way to fight the Gobbler when we got a notification that the servers were about to reset and that we needed to log out. So we were all we had already planned out that we were going to log out a certain amount ahead of time, rejoin at the specific time, re-party up, and just continue on, right from where we were at in the middle of the cave. Well, I kind of screwed that up. When I spawned back into the world, my partner Arctic wasn't far behind me, but I saw them move slightly and then disappear. I thought either they glitched out, disconnected, or were just left the cave. And I knew I couldn't handle myself in there alone, so I teleported out. Shortly after, Braxton's like, what the heck happened? I explained myself, and then Arctic proceeded to tell me that no, he just got stuck in a battle, and so he disappeared off my screen. And if I would have waited, he would have been right there. Now, going through the cave doesn't take a long time, however, through some little drama that I won't get into involving Arctic, they did not end up coming with us on our next attempt. And we ended up just going me and Braxton. Boy oh boy, let me tell you, if you're gonna take on the Gobbler, go with 3 people, okay? Alright, a level 8 and a level 10 are not able to do it. We barely put a nick on the guy. Now the punishments for dying in the cave are not all that bad. You lose half of the gold that you obtained while you were in there, which isn't that bad. Now there's a couple more things I want to talk about before I end this video. One is the PvP. Now I didn't do too much of it, so I asked a lot of the community members about what they had to say and what their opinions on the PvP. It is very bare bones. It is there is no sort of ranking system or anything to give you some sort of reward. However, I did learn from talking to people that play the game that what they do is they do a lot of trust-based stake battles. Where, one person will say, hey, how about 50 gold? And then you put up 50 gold, and the winner, takes all. And, apparently people do that a lot. However, if somebody loses and it just decides to be a salty bitch, they can just leave with their money because there's no in-game system to put up those stakes. The game is still in early development, so there's not a lot of variety in between builds at the moment. A lot of level 10 wizards are going to look exactly the same as other level 10 wizards. And because of that, PvP isn't huge in the game. However, I have played a little bit, it didn't seem bad, it responded well, and I'm pretty sure they're in real time, which is always nice. Now, before I end this video, I have to talk about one little thing that annoys the piss out of me. So the cave is the only real notable location, other than the village that you start at, of course. And the sprite for it, yeah, it's kind of lame. Whatever. Now look at this tower. You would think that looks way cooler than anything else on the map. You would think that it would be reachable. Hell no. Hell no. That would mean it would be good. But no, you can't reach the tower, even though it's the coolest looking thing in this game, other than the Gobbler, of course. It's it's just a slight annoyance that I had to share with you. Now for my final thoughts on the game. This game is very obviously still in extremely early development stages, but I will say this, that I really like the core concept. And I think that with a game like this, that is this early in development, that's what you need. You need a good core concept that keeps people playing. I mean, this game, honestly, should be dead. But it's not. People were coming in, like brand new people all the time, being like, hey, where's this friend at? People very clearly like this game to the point where there's a community around it, even though it is so small. And there's a reason for that. I think the saving grace of this game is the party mechanic. It allows the most mundane parts of MMOs to just be that much less mundane and that much better. And I think that makes a world of a difference. I did not mind grinding near as much when I had a partner. Partly because I only had to pay like half attention, but still. Overall, I'd say this game sits at a 7 out of 10, and that might even be generous, but like I had a 7 out of 10 amount of enjoyment out of it, and so that's what I'm going to give it. I totally want to get back into reviewing Flash games for you guys. Flash games are a huge part of my childhood, and I've played a lot of them, and I really enjoy how simple some of them can be, and you don't have to pay for them, obviously, which is pretty great. Poor Kid Stan really liked that growing up. With that said, I would like to know if there are any other Flash games that you guys grew up with or that you really enjoyed playing that you'd like me to take a look at. And these types of videos don't take very long to do, and that's why I'm able to put one out, after getting all the footage for this yesterday. But thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I'm severely impressed, as no one fucking watches this channel other than me. So if you made it here, thank you. I really do appreciate it, and your one view matters a lot to me. Subscribe if you haven't, and like the video if you're feeling generous. Bye-bye.